Chris Snow is 38 years old. He's an assistant GM for the Calgary Flames. A year and a half ago, Chris's father passed away from ALS. He's lost two of his uncles and one of his cousins to ALS. Last June, Chris Snow found out he too is afflicted by familial ALS.
We were in the playoffs and I was working out in the hotel in Denver, and I was just gripping a weight, and I realized I didn't have the same strength in the fingers on the outer part of my hand. And went upstairs early, and I was nervous about it.
You suspected right away?
Yeah.
There's a picture behind you, and it's of his. You can see his right arm really well in the picture. And I remember sitting on the couch a lot of nights after putting the kids to bed, and he was at work or whatever, and just kind of staring at that picture and breaking down and thinking about what this could mean for us.
ALS is an aggressive disease. The life expectancy for about half of all people diagnosed with it is 3 years.
The very first week that I was given a diagnosis of ALS, I viewed that as a death sentence. And my wife and I cried every single one of those days. And after those 7 days, I walked into a doctor's office and they told me that there was a clinical trial and that it was really promising.
Since July, Chris has participated in an experimental gene therapy trial, and it seems to be working. But it's a blind study. He doesn't know if he's actually receiving the medicine or a placebo.
In this process, I think what I've learned is just that hope is absolutely everything in life. The mutation in his family is about 12 to 18 months life expectancy. So we're 6 months more out now from him being diagnosed, and the fact that it is not moved from the original parts of his body that were affected, which is his right hand and right forearm, it is absolutely a miracle already.
As time went on and she believed that I was getting the real thing, I think she went from feeling anxious and sad and all those negative emotions to feeling that those 2 minutes that they do that injection over are, it's pushing life into me.
I wake up in the morning and feel very confident in the fact that I'm going to have them here for a very long time.
Every day she asks me, same? And I say, yes.
Yeah.
And then she's good for the day.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be tying his shoes in the morning because, I haven't moved to slip-ons.
And then I make her retie them because
they're not tight enough. And so I'll be tying his shoes and I'll say, same today? And he'll say, yep. And then I'll say, all right, that's the dream. So we're living the dream. The dream is just the same.
Chris is an integral part of the Flames contract negotiations. He played a large role in re-signing Matthew Tkachuk over the summer.
Brad's been exceptional with just giving me, the schedule I need. Like he felt so bad asking me to do work.
You get this news and your first reaction is, okay, you go, I want you to spend every waking minute you can with your family and don't worry about us.
And I said, you've got about 5 days here to stop feeling bad, and then come September 1st, you got to ask like you always do, and I'll do like I always do, and if there's a problem, I'll tell you at the end of September.
Sometimes you need a cold slap, and I got one that day from him, and so we went, I said, okay, we're back on.
One of the more sobering realities of living with a terminal illness that is also hereditary is how to discuss it with your children.
My son asked, is this what happened to Grandpa Bob, my dad? And we said yes, but there is a significant difference.
He said, well, Dad, if you got this from your dad, can I get this from you? That was the thing I think we're trying to protect them from the most, outside of the idea that they might lose their dad. And Chris handled that really, really well. He said something along the lines of, buddy, I used to worry about that a lot. I used to think about that a lot, but now that I know this medicine is there, now that I know what the doctors are doing, and now that I know this medicine is working for me, I'm not worried about that at all.
In December, Kelsie went public with their fight against ALS.
How long did it take you to write that?
I started writing that letter actually in June, and we knew that this story was going to be different. It was important to us to address our hockey family, and it was important for us to speak to those people and to let them know how we are and to let them know how they can help, because we knew that everybody would want to help, because that's what hockey people do.
ALS is not an incurable disease, it's an underfunded disease. And it's underfunded because so few people have it. The number of people with this disease in North America, both US and Canada combined, would fit the Saddle Dome and barely spill over. And I feel like now, this doesn't have anything to do with with me, it has to do with my kids. You know, in our minds, like we want to raise $500,000. Like I look at the Saddle Dome when I walk in there and there's 20,000 seats, and if every person in that building gave $25, we're at our goal. And that's kind of our objective, is for a lot of people to just give a little.
The true measure of the people in the game is highlighted at moments of grief or crisis or need. And you see it time and time again. Whenever there's a difficult moment, nobody responds like the hockey community. And just his belief is an inspiration to all of us. And we are going to make a miracle.
In 2011, Chris and Kelsie spent the better part of a year looking for his dream job in hockey.
We'd written a list of teams, and we had a napkin, and she had written a list of cities on it that she'd be comfortable living in, and Calgary was on that list.
I would never leave here. You know, in a moment that you can feel so sad, probably the saddest I've been, certainly, in my life, I've also felt the most love. And that is an absolute testament to the people in this city and in this organization. And just the fact that this is my place, and this has only reaffirmed that for me. I remember this very vividly. The Flames equipment manager at one point sewed Chris's glove into a fist because Chris can't make a fist. So his right glove is sewn into a fist and he slides it over his hockey stick. The first day that he did that was the first time he'd been able to go on the ice with our son's hockey team that year. I distinctly remember in June when Chris was diagnosed, thinking back to these rinks that we play in, these community rinks, and what kind of access they had, because I know in my mind he was going to be in a wheelchair while we were watching our son play hockey that year, and how am I going to get him in there? And when I saw him playing that day, I thought, this is really going to be something. Like he might be okay. That was everything for me that day.